peace, joy, confidence. Yes, please. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and this is for women who are on their own for the first time and over 50. Today, I'd like to discuss, kind of continue the journey from our last meeting when I shared wisdom from Karen Noe and her book, We Consciousness. And I talked about the advantages of self-love. And I gave you the first 6 advantages. So if you missed that episode, please go back and find it. You can take a look at it when you get a chance. Next week, I'm going to continue with the last 6. But today, I wanted to break it up a bit and give a supporting thought. Karen shared in the book, when you find the peace within yourself, you become the kind of person who can live at peace with others. And I thought that powerful quote was important to share today, especially in your world, with what you're dealing with. You're on your own, figuring things out after going through a divorce. This could also apply to somebody who's lost a partner. It can even apply to somebody who now is empty nesting at this time of life. And we as women who have always been the caregivers and caretakers are trying to figure out how to take care of ourselves. Can you relate? And the importance of doing so. So while you have a supportive team around you, I assume, of family and friends who are helping you with where you are right now, I look to come in and guide you on where you can go next. I myself had my ex leave me 10 years ago now, and I was devastated. I had never lived on my own. I went from my parents' home to being married. I never had to support myself. And all of a sudden, here I am, midlife, figuring things out. And I want to share with you the potential and possibilities. Because I'm going to tell you, if I can do it, oh my gosh, so can you. And it's easier than we think. So let me break down this quote that I shared with you from Karen. Again, it's when you find the peace within yourself, you become the kind of person who can live at peace with others. Let's break this down into 2 parts, starting with the first part. When you find the peace within yourself, what does inner peace look like for you? Is it a sense of calm? Is it resilience in the face of challenges? Is it self-acceptance? The journey inward is one that's very personal and might feel different for you than, say, someone else or from me, of what would bring you more inner peace. For me, it was definitely that sense of calm, and also to be resilient in the face of challenges. And let's face it, not only are you experiencing challenges in your personal life, we all are to some extent, right? Life is happening right now. And then we look at the outside world and all that's happening. And it can be scary. It can be unnerving. It's uncertain. And it's also historic times that we're living in. Ladies, we are living history right now. I feel like we have been since 2020. There have been so many things happening in this world that we've not experienced before. And just when you think one thing happens and oh my goodness, then boom, here's another thing. And that may continue to happen. It may be very messy before things settle down. How can you be resilient during these times? How can you tap into your inner peace? Because you're not going to get it from the outside, especially in the news or social media, maybe even from family and friends who might also be very unnerved, and the conversations can go very negative. I want to plant a seed of hope. I follow a lot of people out there, from functional medicine, because I am a board certified health and wellness coach, to more the metaphysical. And we, if I may get hippy dippy for a minute, are in the age of Aquarius now. Something that I heard so much about when I was a little girl. Do you remember those days? All that late 60s, early 70s, you know, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And now we're in it. And it isn't anything that I thought it would be. And I bet you those people who talked about it back then, maybe now are even going, what the what? But let's have some hope that things are coming up to be cleared and ultimately fixed. And that we will end up better off in the long run. We just need to sit tight and tap within. The journey really is inward, and it can be a lot of introspection. I'm asking you to make time to get more into you and who you are and your values. Instead of worrying about everything that's going on out there, start figuring out what's going on in here and who you are. How can you do that? Meditation is one way. You know, quieting the mind and being still is very helpful. And there's so many videos out there. You can go to YouTube and learn about meditating. Journaling is another way. And I want to share with you something called automatic writing. I love this. I'm not a big journaler, but I do love automatic writing. Put on paper, or better yet, what I do is I get on my computer and I'll type out maybe a question or a concern that I have, or a problem where I need a solution. And then I sit quietly for a couple of minutes and I just deep breathe. Tap into that deep breath, and then I put my fingers to the keyboard and I let whatever thoughts come to me, whatever, I type it out. I keep my eyes closed. So that's why I like to do it on the computer. You could do it writing, pen and paper, but I like to do it on the computer with my fingers on the proper keys, and I just, whatever comes to mind, I let it out. And I'm going to tell you how interesting it is to realize things that I would never think consciously or say out loud. All of a sudden, as I tap into that inner me that's peaceful amongst everything else, the thoughts that come out, the help that's there, the ideas that emerge. And I encourage you and invite you, try it once and let me know what you think and what you've discovered. It's awesome. It is also being more self-compassionate to yourself. You know, let's face it. We are all doing the best that we can right now, given our circumstances. Would you agree? You're doing the best that you can. It may not be ultimately what you would like, but in the moment, we are doing the best that we can. And then we can reflect and see how we could do it better, if you will, if need be. Learning, growing, evolving. What if we looked at these times as a time of our evolution and our growth? Doesn't that give so much more possibility and hope than just looking at the outside as it is right now without that bigger picture? The next thing is, we're going to come up against obstacles. Life is going to happen, right? Like I like to say, shit happens. And in that moment, you can shift if you choose, if you tap into that self-awareness, and if you start looking at, what am I to learn from this? Who am I to become from this? What gifts do I have, or strengths do I have that I'm now realizing and bringing forth? How powerful. Doesn't that sound so empowering and hopeful instead of hopeless? So pay attention to that negative self-talk, that mind chatter that goes on, that is going to say to you, you can't do this, you're not smart enough, you are whatever. And realize that's not truly you. That's your mind just protecting you, wanting you to just stay where you are, afraid of the unknown. You know, so many of us are afraid, fear moving forward because we don't know. You know, we know what's happening in our lives now, and we may find discomfort in that. We may ultimately want that to be different, but it's familiar, and there's some comfort in that. And I'm asking you to step past that and look for that deeper, bigger picture, and start shutting down your mind and saying, thank you. I appreciate you trying to protect me, but I'm just gonna let those thoughts go, and I'm gonna find more loving thoughts of myself. You know, I'm doing the best that I can is a great mantra, for example, to quiet that mind. You know, how we look at stress, what meaning we give to the stressors that are in our lives, and even looking at the past traumas that have happened, big or small. Could you see what's happened, even if it was pretty horrific, as you growing and evolving? And some of the people that I follow who have been through some horrific traumas in their young lives are actually talking about, what I went through has helped me become who I am today. Doesn't make it right, doesn't take away the pain, but it gives you some power to move forward and some peace. And that's what it's all about. We can't change what's happened. Can we change that story, though, to help us now move forward instead of staying stuck? Now let's go to the second part of this. The quote, you become the kind of person who can live with peace with others. How does your inner peace impact your outer relationships? Well, think about it. We're less likely to project our own insecurities and our own anxieties. When we're feeling more centered, when we're feeling calmer, when we're more relaxed, when we tap into a deep knowing that no matter what, I'm safe and everything's going to be okay, even if I don't know how that's possible in the moment. Just having that inner knowing. And that's another great mantra. I am safe. Everything works out for me. Or are some great mantras to help quiet the mind and help give you momentum to move forward. When you come from that place where you're more centered and balanced, then you're projecting that onto others. So you communicate more effectively. You are more likely to share how you really feel, even if it's difficult, and to not only listen to what someone else is saying, but to really hear them. And how then you can come together with an understanding instead of fighting and reacting and blowing up or becoming defensive. You are coming out of more kindness. You know, it was like when my ex left, as devastating as it was, and I thought we would always be together. I had that feeling. I realized that ultimately, stepping back, I wasn't really happy, and neither was he. And through a lot of introspection and self-awareness, I realized it was a gift, because so many people stay together unhappily ever after. Now I was given the opportunity to find that happiness within myself, therefore giving me a happier life. And him too. Think about that. You know, it's all in perspective. It has a ripple effect when we tap into that inner peace, because we are looking to create more harmony. We are looking to be more understanding. And like I mentioned, kind. Doesn't mean people are walking all over us. Doesn't mean we're a martyr. It just means we're opening our hearts more. You know, if we want more peace in our worlds and in the world, let's realize it starts from within. We can't change anyone else. We can't control anyone else. We can only control ourselves and how we handle things. Do we react as we always have, or do we act in a new way? And if you desire peace, be the peace. Start being the light out there. Start being a calming, centered force. And then see how all those around you start reacting in a different way, because you start influencing them. And if and when they're ready, then they start relaxing themselves. The more of us that do this, ladies, the more we start bringing peace into our worlds. It starts affecting the peace in the world. The more we focus on peace instead of fear, the more all of us start tapping into that and helping the frequencies that are out there connect more to that. I know that sounds hippy-dippy, but it's physics, it's energy, it's science, and it's time. Isn't that exciting? I'm so grateful for you spending some time with me, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Please share. And if I resonate with you, please like, please follow and subscribe. There is more to come. Again, let me help you help yourself by seeing what could be instead of just focusing on what is. I'll be back next week. Until then, be well.